Hello, everyone. Welcome to our afternoon Zoom. I am Amber Miller, Diamond Ambassador. This is my lovely mother. You want to say hi?
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. It's so much fun to do this with my daughter, and I'm just excited and happy and looking forward to it.
Yeah. So this was kind of Mom's brainchild. She said, let's do a Zoom where we share with people how to have belief and vision and consistency in their business and our stories and what we did to grow. And I told her, well, that's going to be interesting because our stories were so different, and let's share the difference in them. And this morning I was sharing with her that this is going to be a little humbling for me because mine is not that glamorous story where I shot to diamond really, really fast. I had a lot of hurdles to get through and a lot of personal growth and stumbling blocks. But I'm very glad for them, and I appreciate them because of what they taught me about myself and what I'm able to share with others from that. So I'm kind of going to go first here, and then I'm going to ask Mom to follow up and share her story in belief with these products, this company, and ourselves. So when I first tried Plexus, I did it just to be nice to a friend. Long story short, the products worked, obviously. I got amazing results, and I fell in love. My friend told me that I could make a little bit of extra money if I shared the products with a few people. I thought that sounded like the most amazing opportunity in the world. I had no idea it was network marketing. I didn't even know what it was. I remember when I told my mom, she said, "Oh no, honey, you got involved with one of those things." And I was like, what? But at the time, I was 23. I had a 15-month-old son. I had 100 chickens and was selling chicken eggs off my porch. I was cooking for a wealthy neighbor. I was baking bread at 4 o'clock in the morning for a bakery. I was doing a lot of things just to make a little bit of extra spending money. My husband was a fabulous provider, but I just wanted a little extra for me. So that's where my Plexus journey started. I started to share with people. My cousin, my mother-in-law, and my mom were the first people I shared with. People around me started to get great results. I had some customers that were doing well, and I just thought this was wonderful. Well, then I had 3 people specifically that came back to me after being on the products for less than a month and told me the products weren't working. That stopped me dead in my tracks. I didn't have firm belief in the products, which is really funny because I got amazing results. My family got amazing results. My friends, all my friends at church, I live in Plexus land. I think we have almost 10 diamonds in our tiny little county. So Plexus land, you can't meet someone at the grocery store that hasn't been on or is using Plexus. But I still didn't have belief to overcome those negative people or those negative responses. And I didn't have, I wasn't able to accept rejection. So what happened was I stopped dead in my tracks, and I completely stopped sharing or working my business at all for about 6 months. I kept taking the products. I was in love with them, but I was so negative after that. I remember telling my mom, if I get a customer, I'm going to send them to you because if they're your customer, they'll get great results, and if they're mine, they won't. 3 people felt like 300 people, right? Sometimes it feels that way. And then at the same time, my mom was having this amazing success in California. She was skyrocketing with this business, and it was hard for me. It was hard for me to accept, so I just kind of got in this negative state. And that's what unbelief did to me. That's what negativity did to me. And I want to prevent you guys from having that experience. So I'm going to kind of let Mom share now about at that same time when I was in that stalling period, what she was doing over in California and what having beliefs did for her business. So go ahead, Mom.
Yeah, I just love hearing your story, Amber, because you have just completely transformed. But the way I first got introduced to Plexus is, yes, I was on the phone with Amber in California, and she was in Tennessee, and we were coming out there to visit her, and she kept being very elusive and kind of sneaky about this Plexus thing. Like, she didn't even want to tell me the name of it. and I felt like I was going to get ambushed. And and she said, there's something I want to tell you about when you come. And I was like, well, why don't you tell me now? So yeah, I did say to her, oh, honey, you fell for one of those things. And my biggest fear was, oh my goodness, she was going to try to rope me into something. And so I was very leery and definitely against the whole concept of network marketing, or taking a product to lose weight, anything like that. And I'm very health conscious. My husband has a disease that involves blood sugar that we have had some struggles with over the years, and it's a very huge issue in our family. And so I'm super careful about everything we ingest and everything we put in our skin and everything we come in contact with. And so when Amber first showed me the product, she said, Mom, she came over one day with a bag of Slim, and she was like, Mom, can you look at this? And if it's going to kill me, go ahead and tell me. Otherwise, I need to keep taking it because it's helping me so much with my seasonal issues. And so I looked at each ingredient. That's what I did. I researched each ingredient, and I said, it's fine for you, honey, go ahead and continue to take it. But I had no intention of taking it myself. My first drink of Slim was in a mason jar like this. Amber came over to our second home that we have in Tennessee where we spend our summers, and we went across the kitchen counter with this mixed up jar of Slim with her saying, you said it was okay, you said it was safe, drink it. I was like, no, I do not want to. And so it's hard to say no to your daughter. And so she convinced me to try it, and I ended up loving it. I still had so much fun letting her think that she was forcing me to drink it. Tried it with my husband, and I got amazing results. He got just astounding results. And since I understand how important blood sugar is and the implications behind what happened with both of us, yeah, I had complete belief. I had belief in the product from the get-go. I was super excited. And I really wasn't that excited about the business until Amber actually ambushed me again. And the way I signed up, in case anybody has never heard this story, is Amber said, Mom, where is your credit card? You're signing up. And I said, how much is it? And she said, $34.95. And I said, oh, okay, sure. And so she dragged me to an event, and I saw what people were making. I saw the income potential, and I saw it there in what Amber described as a tiny, tiny little town. But yeah, it is sort of like Plexus capital. And so since we go there every summer, I had seen what had happened from one year to the next with different people, with the results they were getting, and also with the business success. And so I actually asked somebody, can you show me what you're making? And since this was a friend, she let me know. And I was like, okay, bingo, connect the dots. Then I went to a training event that Sonia Deadly put on, and the people there were giving Sonia all their objections as to why they couldn't be successful in the business. And I sat there listening, thinking, wow, you guys can't overcome that? Well, I can. And so, yeah, I had complete belief, and I saw it, and that was a little bit different from Amber's experience.
Yeah. And then what happened? What happened when you went back to California with that belief?
Okay, so what I started to do, like Kristen, the way Kristen signed up, is I told her what I was going to do. I told her why I believed in the products, and I told her what I was going to do with the business. I actually was not trying to ask her to join. I didn't care whether she joined, because with or without her, or with or without anybody, I was going to be successful. And so I had the vision, and I want to talk a little bit about vision, because I think that's going to tie into when things changed for you, Amber.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want to go first?
Well, I just wanted to follow up with the ending part of my belief story really fast. So when Mom went to California and she had that belief, and she started rocking this business because she knew she had a great product that people needed with a great comp plan, right?
Right.
I came to visit her in December that year, so it's about 6 months later, with my big old negative self, came to visit. And at the end, towards the end of the visit, what she basically said, well, actually she did say this, I'm going to wash your mouth out with soap if you say one more reason or negative thing why you can't do this business. And that was her loving term that she used for us all growing up. So she handed me a stack of health articles, and she said, read these. Read what these products are doing in people's body. Because what I would say is, it didn't work for so-and-so, one of my customers that quit. And she would say, it's working, it's working. They just don't know it's working, you know? So when I read those articles and I understood what was going on in the body, and I saw what my mom was doing, that's when it clicked. That's when I believed in the products 100%. My mom gave me that kick in the rear I needed. And during the process of growing, I started to believe in myself. So that was the flip side. So I don't want you to have that 6-month wait period. I want you guys to just rock it, soar it. If you've been stagnant for a little while, maybe you hit a hurdle like I have. Maybe you had that negative family member. Use my story to realize you can still and you will make it to the top. Nothing has to stop you like that. So, okay, Mom, go ahead. Why don't you go into vision and how that ties in with this?
Okay, vision. So I like to say I'm an emotional person, just like the next female, but I really like to say that this is the time when I was not emotional at all. I was very logical. And so I would like to paint a picture for you guys, because sometimes when I talk to people, one thing I notice is that they are limiting themselves because they're stopping the vision that they could have, because they're kind of tying themselves too much to the vision. And so I want to talk about logic right now. What I saw an awesome product line that people needed, that worked, that addressed specific needs in a very simple way, that was reasonably priced, that would pay the person working the business very fairly. And so to me, that was just logical. You do the work, you're going to get the results. And so I have since discovered in Plexus that this is kind of the key to people's success. And so I've said so many times in my life, I just saw it. I saw that it was going to happen. And so if you think about that word vision, that is definitely tied to belief. And it is really the momentum that's going to help you create the habits. I knew at some point in time, since I was willing to do the work required, that I was going to achieve the same results in this business that everybody else had. I knew that I could be in Sonia's position, and that's because logically it made sense. And so vision also ties into mindset. I didn't tie myself too much to this logical opportunity. I didn't think that people wouldn't buy the product if they didn't like me, or if I didn't say everything exactly right. And that's some of the things that I hear from people that I work with. I'll ask them, do you believe that you can be successful? And they'll tell me, when it comes right down to it, no. And I will ask them why. And they'll say, I've had people say to me, because I don't speak well, I'm not outgoing, I've had people say I'm not pretty enough. And these are beautiful people. People don't want to hear me. I'm not interesting. I'm lazy. I never finish anything I've started. So if you hear all of those things, what is that doing? That's limiting a person's belief. And so let me tell you, if that's your mindset, you can change it, and it's super important. And secondly, logically, that just doesn't make sense, because what we are in a company with the right product, with the right compensation plan at the right time. And so just about anybody can do that, is what I say. And so just look at the numbers of people that have ranked up, that have achieved jewel status, and know that that you can do it. And if that is not your mindset and you cannot get that vision, then, okay, I'm on this Zoom today, right? And I actually am excited to be here. And Amber will know that this was something I had to conquer. I was very afraid to be on Zooms. And so what did I do? I started telling myself that I loved Zooms. I wanted to do Zooms. They were super exciting, and being on a camera was no problem for me at all. So guess what? I changed my mind. And I actually am excited and happy and thrilled to be here giving you guys what I hope is something that you can take and run with.
Yeah, no, I love that. And you're so right on. I remember my mom said she knew that she was going to be at the top, and she had that vision to see herself there logically. I believed, there came a time back in December, I believed that it was technically possible for me to be a diamond. Like, of course it's possible. It's not an impossible thing, but it was a very, very small chance. That's what it was in my mind. I didn't have that belief in myself that I could do it. I was like what Mom said, and I had those negative thoughts, and I voiced them all the time to Mom, and she definitely got annoyed with me. And I would say, I'm too busy. I've got a baby, and I'm pregnant. Or, I live an hour from the nearest town, from the largest town. I have no cell reception. I said, I had all these excuses. A big one for me, if there's any young people watching this, is I would say, I'm too young. Mom can nod her head to this. No one's going to listen to me. I'm like the little girl. No one's gonna listen to me, right? Mom's laughing over there because I said that all the time. And sometimes I have to still get over that hurdle, okay? I tell people I'm excited to hit my 30s so I can feel mature. So what I had to do is take that I'm too busy thought and tell myself, I have time in my day. I'm so glad that I make time for my priorities. I'm so glad that I have time in my day to do my income producing activity. I'm glad that I'm bold and confident. I had to say those things to rewrite those negative thoughts that just went around and around and around in my head that were not true, but I had chosen to believe. So please, if you have those fears or those mindsets or those thoughts, write them down and write the truth. You do have time. People will listen to you. What I hear all the time is I feel like nobody's interested. They have no reasoning behind that except their feelings. Their feelings that they're projecting on other people are holding them back from sharing. People are interested, guys. You just don't think they are, and you're just shy to share because of it. Let go of that. Be bold. Say, I'm so glad people want to hear about Plexus, because people are going to bed sick and broke every single night looking for something like this. They might just not know it's Plexus yet, and then that's your job. But so that's where vision and mindset really came into play with me. And thank you, Mom, for helping me overcome those things. But can you share, I'm reading these comments over here. I love it. Mom, can you share about habit and how the habit that comes behind that vision is what gets you there and what that kind of looks like? We were going to talk about habits to apply and habits to avoid.
Yes. And so first of all, I want to tell you guys, you're going to hear so many things that you've heard before. And that's because today what we have to share with you, it actually works. And so I know a lot of people on our team are homeschoolers, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Charlotte Mason, but I have read like a lot of her books, and she talks about the importance of habit and instilling good habits in your kids. And since I joined Plexus, I've read a lot of books about habit as well. And so you will bring your habits into this business, and they are so important. The habit of what you tell yourself, which we've already covered, and then the habit of income producing activity. And so I'll tell you what I did. I had a goal, and my goal was, I heard it somewhere, probably from Sonia or Sheila or Helen or somebody, that you want to make 5 new contacts a day, 3 follow-ups, and you want to start posting on Facebook. You want to post personal. You want to interact with your people on your list and your friends and family. You want to like and comment so that they see your posts, and that you wanted to post with passion and be real what you're doing with Plexus, as well as personal posts. And so I had that advice, and I had a Post-it note and the Perfect 10 worksheet. And if you guys have not heard of the Perfect 10 worksheet, it's pretty much available everywhere. And so I also had my list. So I set myself up for success, I made a list of everybody that I wanted to contact, and then I would add to that list as I met new people. And I would go for the 5 and the 3. 5 new contacts, 3 follow-ups. And on my Post-it note, I made super sophisticated little tally marks. And then I played a game with myself. If I had done my 5 new contacts, 3 follow-ups for the day, and it was only 1 o'clock, then I was going to go for some more. And so I established that habit of something so simple as the Post-it note, but that works for me because that was on my kitchen counter. And I know if you're like I am, you wash a lot of dishes. And so I saw that there, and that was my reminder for my goal. I also used the Perfect 10 worksheet, and I wrote the names of the people that I had contacted, the new people, and the people that I had followed up on. I put the date for the week, and I filed that form. And the reason I did that is because I was accountable to myself for the work that I did. And I knew that I was going to achieve the results that I wanted with my business by doing the work. And so that might seem pretty simple, but it worked for me, and those were the habits that helped me.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that might seem pretty simple, because I'm over here like list, file. But the key thing that you mentioned, that even though my days might look different than yours, and my organization is definitely not as detailed, maybe the checklist with the tallies, I could probably do that. That IPA, that daily method of operation, which is, you said, contacting 5 people, following up, making good use of your social media time. That is the habit that you have to get into every day. So I'm the type of person that I can get distracted easily. Things can go on during my day. You know, I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and things just get crazy. But I have it set in my mind right now. My business looks different now than it did in the beginning, but to contact 2 people a day, to follow up, and to post on social media. I am so the type that it's like 11:58 at night, and I'm in bed, and I'm doing my last contact, because I'm making my 2 contacts a day, but I'm holding myself accountable to that. It's a habit, like brushing your teeth, like working out. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And honestly, like those first couple messages, those first, 20 to 50 messages, whatever, in the very beginning were hard for me to send. And I was pondering and nervous about everything. The more you do it, the better you get. And now it's easier, it's simple. I've learned a lot of skills along the way, but that habit of doing it is what you want. So habits to avoid would definitely be, when you grab your phone and you're scrolling through Facebook and you feel like you're working. That's not working. That's just being busy. Not doing that. When I put my kids down for a nap, I'm like, okay, my dishes will stack up in the sink until nighttime, because I've got to get my stuff done. That's how I fit it in. One thing I love to do, reading health articles, I print them out and I stack them up, and I leave them by my door in a little stack. So then when I go and I can sit outside and watch my kids play, I can grab a stack. Or I could grab a health article off the top and read that and highlight that. But I fit it in. It's a habit that I do every single day. So that's really, really important. And along with that, Mom, is consistency, which I know we're both really, really passionate about.
Yes.
You can have belief, you can have vision, you can know you're going to be a diamond someday, but it's going to take you a long, long, long time if you just work sometimes here and there, or when it's easy. You need to be consistent. So you want to talk on that a little bit?
Yes, I love this topic. And the reason is I did a 12-week coaching group a while ago. And that was such an awesome learning experience for me, because I worked individually started off with 119 people. And they emailed me every week all the work that they had done, whether they had done the assignments in the coaching group, how they were feeling about their business. And guess what, you guys? I read every single email and responded to them. So, I don't recommend that, but it was awesome for me to learn. And I was so excited the first week. It was amazing. And that's because I love helping people reach their goals. I think Amber and I and all of us Jules, I mean, all of us certainly in the biz team, we talk about it all the time. We are so grateful. Like, we know that there's going to be so many more people joining us, and we want it to be you. And actually, it doesn't even matter if you're on our team or not. I celebrate when I see people working this business. I respect them because they're smart. I'm like, yes, please do it. Please get over here with us because it's awesome. And then we're all just so thankful together. So consistency, when I saw that these people were not doing the IPA, that they hadn't established the habits, that they didn't have the belief, that they didn't have the vision, I was so excited because I thought, wow, this is something we can change. And so consistency is vital to your business. Whenever I talk to somebody and they're either stuck at a certain rank and they're not advancing, whenever I talk to them, they have not been consistent in their work. And so if that's the only thing that is stopping you from progressing in your business, that you need to be consistent for a length of time, then isn't that amazing? Isn't that great? That doesn't mean that you have to be a health expert. That doesn't mean that you have to be so into the science like Amber and I are. That doesn't mean you have to be a mom and a grandma like me, or a young mom like her, or in anything like anybody else. It just means that you need to apply the daily work and do it on a consistent basis. And that is one thing that makes Plexus just so awesome. Mm-hmm. So I like to tell people it's sort of like pushing a snowball up a hill. So you work for a while, and then you stop. What happens? The snowball rolls back down. Now you got to push it up that hill again. And it starts to work on your mind, because you might see other people advancing faster than you, which comparison is the thief of joy. Don't ever fall into that trap, no matter what. To a certain extent, this business is a numbers game. And so just because somebody else is advancing faster than you and you are being consistent, don't let that bother you at all, because it will happen for you. But if you're not being consistent, what's happening to you? You're starting that snowball back up again. And it just is exhausting, and you're not going to get there until you consistently stick it out and roll it all the way up that hill. Then what happens when you get to the top of the hill? You've got momentum. You've built up that momentum.
Yeah. Exactly. I love it. The snowball effect. And with the consistency thing, all I'll add to that, because that was perfect, Mom, is that consistency, which is doing it daily, like I said, it doesn't have to look the same for everybody, but it's doing it every single day. Obviously, you guys know. Like right now during the Zoom, my kids are taking a nap downstairs. And I keep texting my husband, when are you going to come home? When are you going to come home? It's fitting it in. Making the messages when I do most of my work when I'm cooking dinner and I'm sending voice messages and answering questions. That's where I do most of my work. Someone asked about how to post, how to use accurate social media time, and how to make it not busy work but productive work. You can create friends lists that are non-Plexus friends. Just Google how to make friends lists. And you can have them have their own separate list. So you click on that list, and that's going to be all your non-Plexus friends. And then you can just go through there and comment on those photos and like on those photos and engage with those people. So you're being sure to make sure that's productive time, and you're not just chatting with your Plexus bestie, but doing that daily is that consistency. But I think you really hit the nail on the head with that one, Mom. Accountability is our next subject we're going to talk about. So that's going to help with the habits, and the consistency is having a running buddy. Mom and I have both had our running buddies and multiple ones, but it helps you from missing out. It helps you to apply what you're supposed to do every single day, because your running buddy is. So you need to brainstorm and have ideas with each other and have a partner. And it doesn't always have to be someone in your same team. A lot of times it's a sideline. Maybe, of course, there's someone in the big team pages that maybe you love their posts and you're engaging with them and you guys are friends, and sending a message and say, hey, you want to be accountability partners? Because we are going to rock this summer. I want to make this summer amazing, and be consistent, have awesome habits, and I'm looking for an accountability partner to do that with. I think that's a great thing to have. Mom, do you want to touch on that too?
Yes, kind of a funny little story. So, Amber's accountability partner for a really long time, and probably still is, was Chastity.
Mhm.
And she is actually, is she even a sideline to you?
She's a sideline. She's a Plexus cousin.
Okay, she's a Plexus cousin. And so it was funny to talk to Amber sometimes because she would say, Chastity said XYZ. And of course, that would be something that I had been telling her. But because Chastity told her, all of a sudden it was going to make sense to her. So, so you find somebody that you connect with and that you get energy from and that you guys have a lot of fun together. I'll tell you, it's awesome if your accountability partner can be your personally sponsored person because you really want to work with your personally sponsored people, and that can be a great dynamic relationship. So in the beginning, when I signed Kristen up, I said to her, do you want to be like Helen and Sonia? And she said, who is Helen and Sonia? And I said, just never mind, just say yes. And so, so that was kind of a funny story. But so we decided we were going to be like Helen and Sonia, and she didn't even know who it was. But what I love about Kristen is that I'm not a competitive person. I know a lot of people in this business, they're competitive. I can be competitive with myself, but I'm generally not competitive with anybody else.
Mom,
But,
I'm going to be right back. I got to go check on Bryn really quick. I'm so sorry, but you keep going on the competitive. Go ahead.
okay. So what Kristen did to me is she actually drew out a little bit of competitiveness. And so I will kind of tell Kristen sometimes, I don't know why I'm competitive with you. I'm not competitive in that I'm jealous, but she just spurs me on, and I love working with her. And so an accountability partner would be somebody that's a running buddy. It can be your downline, ideally your personally sponsored person, but it can also be a sideline. Sometimes it's nice to have it be your upline, because that's really the only person that you're supposed to go to with any kind of negativity. And I'll tell you, Amber, actually, one of the reasons I did tell her that I was going to wash her mouth out with soap, hi, Bryn, was because she was affecting me with her negativity. So if I could just talk about negativity for a minute, even though she's my daughter and of course I'm her mom, and that relationship always supersedes any relationship in Plexus, it was hard for me at a certain point, even though my belief was so strong, to hear her saying negative things that will wear on you. So so look at her now. She's just amazing and awesome, and this has just brought out the best in her that was there all the time, and I knew it because people have always loved her and she's always been a positive person, but this was kind of a growing experience. So one thing I want to mention is just never share any negativity, any self-doubt, anything like that with your downline. If you have an issue like that, always go up, because your upline can help you with the negative things that you are saying to yourself. Unless it's your mom. You can have an exception if it's your mom.
There's been plenty of times when you've said, stop being negative, you're driving me down, and we're both diamonds. So negativity affects us greatly. But here's the thing also, don't be negative with your accountability partner. So maybe it's a sideline and it's not your downline, so you feel like it's okay. It is not fair for you to put your insecurities, your doubts onto your running buddy who you want to succeed also. So maybe you're feeling nervous that someone's going to think you're silly or something. Don't let them know. Go to your upline with that also. Just because we want to protect everybody. But yeah. I think that's kind of all we covered all of our topics, and wow, we did it in almost under 30 minutes. I
just had one other thing that I wanted to add.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and that is about setting goals. And so right now at this moment, what I hope that you understand is that we are very real people. You know, I was just a stay-at-home mom for 25 years before Plexus. Amber was homeschooled. She didn't have any formal education or really any business experience, except for we did raise her to be very entrepreneurial and to work really hard. So she sold chickens and few other jewelry. She made jewelry, she babysat, you know, things like that. And so I want you guys to know that this is doable and this is for you. That's the biggest thing that I want you to take away. The second thing I want you to take away is set some goals right now. When you get off of this, set the goals, set the daily work that you're willing to do, draw a line in the sand, and I will meet you on the other side because I want you to know this is for you.
Yeah, I love that. It's for everybody and anybody. It's for the willing and the wanting. For sure. And just overcome those hurdles, because like Mom said, all those self-doubts and that negativity that I was able to overcome and still work through some things just like anybody, but it's made me such a stronger person, such a bolder person. I'm going to be such a better parent and spouse now and friend because of the lessons I've learned through this while getting paid at the same time. So it's definitely personal growth with a compensation plan. And to answer a few questions really quickly, people asked where to find the health articles. They weren't specific to Plexus, but go research gut health to see what it does in the body. Go research blood sugar and the impact it has on your entire system. There are some fabulous articles out there. And that's what I did. Mom just printed off stuff on blood sugar and insulin and gut health and had me read those. And that's the knowledge I learned. But you don't have to know all of that, but that just helped give me confidence. And okay, someone asked what kind of camera. This is just a 2-year-old Mac laptop. So, and my baby's awake, and so guys, anybody can do this. And Mom said anybody, it does not matter your circumstances. It doesn't matter what your past was. Anybody can do this fabulous, amazing business. So thank you everybody for being on with us. You want to say goodbye, Mom, or anything else?
Thank you so much, and thank you, Amber, for hosting this. And I hope that that was a benefit to everyone.
Yep, and we love you all, and we wish you the best. And go out and have an amazing summer with your business. All right, bye, guys.
Bye.